It's Ryan with Premier Sealcoating. So I wanted to make a video. I've been getting asked recently to explain how we manipulated Google to have the presence that we had. And honestly, it was a lot of self-teaching, trial by error, learn as you go. So I want to pass along the insight that I learned, and hopefully you guys can use it for your own stuff. I would like to start out by saying that when I started my company 16, 17 years ago, I was doing it part-time. I was doing it on the nights, weekends. I wasn't even really um, I wasn't even really thinking about advertising because at that time I had enough business to keep myself busy. I was doing nights, I was doing weekends, I just had enough business between people who I knew who were supporting me, friends, family, word of mouth. And I didn't really have to advertise. I was lucky, you know. But when I decided to take my company full time, I wanted people to know that number one, I wasn't a weekend warrior anymore. I was here to stay. I meant business, and I was going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I went nuts. I spent probably $20,000 between advertising on a couple different radio stations for the summer. Um, these really crazy SEO marketing campaigns, hiring these strategy companies who say, oh, well, we will get you these leads. We will contact these big customers with these big parking lots, and we will we'll do all the footwork and yada, yada, yada. And yeah, all that stuff sounded great, and I wanted it. So let's go. I signed up with Yellow Pages and companies like what the hell were they called? It started with an I, but they were like these large platform SEO companies, a one-stop, one-shop place. So you go see this guy, and then he gets you on all these different platforms online, right? Um, and the guy was cool. I asked a lot of questions. I wanted to know how does this work, and they were very cryptic and guarded of how they told me. They didn't want me to know too much. And then one day I noticed that they were doing like for $500 you could do this online webinar where you learned how to basically be a SEO Google AdWords person. You take this class, they teach you all the ins and outs about AdWords, and then you basically can sell SEO job. I could go to other companies and say, hey, I can set up an SEO program for you. And I really learned a lot about how Google works. Okay. Number one, once you go through this class, you realize, holy shit, I am never paying for pay per click again. If you're a guy that doesn't like to go to the casino because you always feel like, yeah, I felt like I had a good time when I was there, but I just didn't leave with any money, and it just seems like a waste of money. Logically in your head, you're like, what am I doing giving this money away? But, I had a good time while I was doing it, and I was up at one time, but in the end I was down, and I don't have the money anymore. I know that much, right? So I started to feel a lot like that, right? I would set up a $2,500 a month SEO campaign, and I would get some calls, yeah, and they would track my calls, but it wasn't my phone number. So when these ads showed up online, right, it looked like my website, but it was like some weird deviation of my website. So it wasn't, premiersealcoatingma.com. It was like, some deviation of that. And that was their way of tracking how many leads they got put to my company, right? So I've always had my 508-340-9713 number. It's on all my trucks, it's on all my signs, but now they're giving me this 1-800 number. I'm like, okay. So I went with the 1-800 number. I asked them, can I use this like at my leisure? And my sales rep was like, yeah, you can. It's a 1-800 number. You can just. So I started giving everybody the 1-800 number. Well, that made it look like my AdWords campaign was like going through the roof, because every time someone called that 1-800 number, it looks like it was generated a lead from that campaign, right? But it wasn't. It was just somebody that I gave the number to. So I I didn't understand what was going on, right? Why am I paying so much? Well, you got all these people calling. Well, the sales aren't reflecting that. But here, look at the call logs. And then I start looking at like, wait a minute. I know that guy. Like, I gave him that number. And then it dawned on me, holy shit, like, so a little misinformation from them, a little ignorance from me, created a recipe for disaster. And I dumped this company who was doing the SEO stuff, But then I saw that ad, $500, you can learn how to do this. And I said, oh, I want to learn how to do this. I like to understand how things work. Okay. So that's what I did. I went on, I took this class, and I learned so much that it made me never want to do that again. Okay. Because it's a gamble. That was my parallel that I'm trying to draw with a casino. All right. When you sit down and set this campaign up, right? Now you're the guy who's setting the campaign up. When you're the guy who's the seal coating guy, you go out, you do your seal coating, you do your line striping, you know what that's all about, right? You do it every day. But now you're sitting down, you're doing something else, and you're looking into the belly of the beast, right? You know that you rely on this method to sell your work, but you don't really know how that method works, right? But now you're sitting down and you're learning how that method works, okay? And it is scary as shit, all right? And I'm going to explain why. Because you get this $2,500 a month campaign and you set it up, okay? Now you can take a portion of that campaign and you can put it towards views or you can put it towards clicks, all right? So what does that mean? Well, all right, here, I can go live with this and show you. So if we type in plumbing company's near me. Now you see these people at the top. These are ad services, right? Ad. They usually have some at the bottom too. Most plumbers don't have to advertise because they stay pretty busy, but you got ad, okay? Ad. Now when you click on this, right? When you click on that, you're going to use a portion of that guy's budget for the day. All right? But if I don't click on it, just because it appears, just because I'm seeing that right now, means that costs this guy some sort of money, okay? So, what does that mean? Well, you take $2,500. Let's take $3,000. Take $3,000, and we're gonna break that down into $100 a day campaigns over 30 days for our $300. Okay? Now you have the number that you're willing to spend every day for customers to see you. And it's $100. You move that $100 over into your campaign. Okay? Then you get to pick how much you're willing to pay to be at that top spot. Now, it'll tell you how many customers a day are searching for seal coating in your area, right? You can try to put in And it'll tell you what the average cost is. Now, when I was doing it, I want to say it was around $3 or $4 a click. Okay, which means that somebody is going to Google. Someone's going to Google plumbing companies near me. This guy's going to pop up, superservicetoday.com, and he is paying top dollar to be in this spot. It could be 3, 4, I don't know what the plumbing industry's numbers are as far as, but I know the seal coatings are very competitive. And I mean, I remember seeing it at one time as high as $13. So you're paying $13 to be that number one spot when somebody searches for whatever service that they're looking for. Okay? You can also pick what times you want to show up. So you can pick $100 a day. You can pick what you're willing to pay for the first spot, what you're willing to pay for the second spot, what you're willing to pay for the third spot. It doesn't mean you're going to get it. It just means that this is the highest price that you're willing to pay to be in that spot. Okay? And then you can take that. Now, once you've picked, this is what I'm willing to pay, you can pick the times that you're willing to show up, right? Why would you want to show up from 8 at night till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? Now, those are off-peak times, and you can choose a different number to show up in those times versus showing up during the day. The daytime is premium, all right? But you can even narrow it down more than that. So you can even control your AdWords so that you're only showing up from 5 in the morning to 9 at morning, right? Let's say the guys who are the supers, who are the job foremen, who are going to be looking for your type of services. Let's say they do most of their surfing in the morning or at night, right? Because during the day, they're on the job. So you can only make it so that you'll only show up in certain times, right? So you can dial this thing in however you want, all right? But you're going to pay to achieve those top spots of the ranking, all right? Now, that's a very dangerous thing, all right? Because once you realize how that works, you can use that and manipulate it so that your ads show up all the time. And what does that mean? Well, I didn't want to spend $10,000 a month, and I wasn't willing to pay $23 every time to be the top number spot. And I was pissed that every time I Googled something or Googled my own name to see, ironically, or had someone who was next to me, hey, do me a favor, pull your phone out, Google seal coating near me, and tell me if my company shows up anywhere. Yeah, you're at the bottom. I'm at the bottom. How am I at the bottom? Well, you're at the bottom. So why am I at the bottom? So I start trying to understand this. I'm going to show you. This is what I'm about to show you. I don't do, and I don't believe it's ethical to do. At the time, I did. At the time, I was trying to grow a business, and you know what? Dog eats dog. It is what it is, okay? You can have the same philosophy. I'm not trying to be the moral police. I'm just going to show you. You can do whatever you want to do with the information, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to Google. We're not going to use seal coating companies because I'm not trying to, cutthroat any of my competition. But let's type in dog sitting companies. Dog sitting. Okay. So these Franchise USA, Dogtopia, and underneath it, Paws in the Ville. Right now, these companies are paying whatever their budget is to appear in these spots. Okay? You got Rover, you got LuckyDogWalking.com. So right now, they're willing to pay the top dollar to be in this spot. They were willing to pay the second most. They were the fourth or third, and they were the fourth. Okay? I want to show you how fast you can erase these people. Okay? From showing up at all. Now, what I used to do every morning when I woke up before I went to my truck driving job is I would click my competition right off the search engine pages. And then I'd sit in my trailer truck all day and my phone would ring off the hook. Okay? So let's start with franchise Dogtopia. Okay? I'm going to show up, close, open it again. Now, yeah, this is costing this guy, again, whatever he was willing to pay. Hopefully it's not $7 a click. Maybe it's $1. Okay, we're going to go in here. We're going to go franchise Dogtopia again and again and again, and we're clicking them out. All right, now we're going to go back to dog sitting. I'm going to go search. He's gone. The second guy who was under him, who was willing to pay the next highest amount of money, he just got moved up, and so did number 3. So we're going to show you again. Pauseville. We're clicking this bitch right off the planet. Pauseville again. Pauseville again. Pauseville again. Pauseville again. Pauseville again. One more time for good measure. And now we're going to update. Now we got Dogtopia back. But that other guy's gone, and this guy is still in the 3rd spot. Okay? Click him out of there. He shouldn't have popped back up so fast. But again, sometimes you get these companies who just throw ridiculous amounts of money at things. Now, these are huge companies. This is a nationwide franchise. So I'm sure that their marketing campaign is going to be pretty big. See, I mean, it just keeps popping up. So here, let's try. So I'm going to give you an example of how you can click off your competition. So let's type in car washes. Detail companies. Because then we won't get national change. We'll more likely get local companies. Okay? So let's go car detailing. Car detailing near me. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this guy's ads. Sorry, bud. Now, we're going to update. He's gone. Now, Rim No Sport, whatever that is. He had a call. Now, watch. Automatic works, whatever that is. Oh, that was the next one. But here we are. You see how you're basically erasing these people. Okay, now we're going to a website. Now watch. If this was your company, right? I'm taking a shit in the morning, getting ready to leave for work, and I just clicked off your whole goddamn advertising budget for the day in a couple of seconds, right? I back out of there, research it, bang, you're gone. And you're gone for the day. All right? So that just goes to show you how easy it is to manipulate Google AdWords. All right. So once I learned that, I I got pissed because I started thinking, what if people are doing that to me? And that was it. And once I had that in my head, it was all over. All right. So another thing that I learned in that class is that Google tries to make the user experience the top priority. Okay. So when you go in and search something like dog sitting, it's not going to find a company or an ad or a post from 7 years ago, right? It's searching through billions of lines of code and places, and it's finding you the best possible match in a nanosecond, right? And believe it or not, there is a method to that madness, all right? It's going through your website, and it can read the code in your website to see if your pictures, if your reviews, if your information is up to date or recently, added. Okay, it can, it can find you through social media campaigns, right? So if you have an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook, Parlor, it can find it looks for companies that have all of the most up to date information, social media, YouTube, whatever, and then it serves it to the searcher. Here, we put this together for you. We hope you like it. Okay? So once you realize that Google is looking for the best possible user experience and you start to build your things around that, then you're controlling how it goes. All right? A year or two ago, I don't know how many of you know this, but Google totally changed the way that it let phones, tablets, other mobile devices access its platform, right? So if you're a guy that's got a website, let's say you've been in business 15, 20 years. I've had the same website 15, 20 years. Well, did you know that a couple years ago, Google basically decided if your company doesn't have a mobile platform for its website, we're not going to show you at all. We're not even going to place you in search engine things, right? So yeah, you could go to www.xyzsealcoating.com and you'll show up, but you won't show up organically because Google knows that most of these people are sitting on their phones, and if you don't have an up-to-date mobile platform for your website, you're not even going to get shown. You know, go to the internet browser on your phone and type in Facebook and look at how Facebook appears if you're looking at it through the internet browser versus how you're looking at it through the app. And that's the difference. All right, Google's looking for ease, and it's looking for, give this person the best possible result that we can find. And if you're not set up for it, they're just going to overlook you completely. Okay? So that was something that I didn't know because at that time I didn't have a mobile platform. So I had another company, go through and make us a mobile platform for our website. And other things that you have to think about that you may not think about, some of your old school guys, they look at things and say, I don't need Facebook, I don't need Instagram, I don't bother with YouTube or anything like that. But these are vessels to help you get your company name out there, right? If you're trying to search for, let's just search on Google for Premier Seal Coating, okay? Premier Seal Coating Oxford, okay? Now, you get City Line pay. You got all these paving. You got all these people who pay to pop. I call them pay to pops. They pay to pop up. All right. You got the four. Now, seal coating, very heavy, competitive industry. Look, you got four people right off the bat. All right. Now you hit this is my thing. Now it's going to start to show me my numbers because it knows it's me looking for it, right? But I'm just doing this to show you, okay? So that's that's Premier Sealcoating right there, okay? Nope, top results, there's my website, okay? But I want you to see how I have all these other people and all these other platforms doing my bidding for me, all right? So you got my company right there, Facebook, Angie's List. That's just Google. That's just Google pimping me on their own, right? Make an appointment, reviews. I'm on Porch, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, okay, Premier Sealcoating, MapQuest, Alignable, whatever that is, LinkedIn, Manta, okay? Now you're back down to ads, okay? See more results. Manta, Premier, The Blue Book, Premier, Foursquare, Premier, Yellow Pages, Who Do You, A Great Town, Yahoo, okay? All the way down to, oh, we got a guy from Michigan in there somehow. Premier Sealcoating, see at the bottom. Yeah. AutoRepairReviews.com. Keel's Tire. Huh. Oh, you got more ads. Look at Twitter, DNB. That's pretty much. Oh no, equipment now, and now you see now we have stuff showing up. These are articles that we did in magazines. So this is an article from Equipment World about us using drones. Wall John. Yeah, so I mean, look at there was just so many things that we have in here that have to do with Premiere. I'm 3 pages in, and it's still my company, and these companies are doing my advertising for me. So it's important that you go on to all of these platforms and set up profiles, right? Because even when you just get into searching regular seal coating, these will help pop up, all right? Now, that gets me to my last point, okay? When you're picking a company or a business name, that is everything, okay? I saw a truck the other day, A Few Good Men Seal Coating, okay? When you type in A Few Good Men Seal Coating, what's going to happen, okay? You're going to wind up getting the first 3 pages are going to be about Tom Cruise in the movie, or I saw Hellcat Seal Coating. It's like, okay, well, there's a Dodge Hellcat. So anytime you Google Hellcat, you're going to get 10 pages of cars before you get your company. So when I was just Premier Seal Coating, Ryan Anderson, sole proprietor, all right, this is kind of when I was learning all of this stuff. Then when I incorporated my business, I knew this stuff. So what I did was I incorporated my keywords into my company name. Now, my company name might be a mouthful, Premier Seal Coating and Line Striping Incorporated, but I have my key names built right into my business name. All right, so let's just try lines. Let's just Google line striping in general. Line striping. Line striping. Bang. Line is neither. I don't even know. That happened last time. Line. I can't do that because it's going to keep saying that. So, I can sit down with my keywords and type in seal coating Worcester, because that's the closest city to us. Now you got add. All right. You got Sealcoating Limited, Pioneer Sealcoating. You got all these, whatever they is. All right. So when you sit down and when you're going to, start searching out or setting up your company name. So when you're setting up your company name, you want to keep in mind that your keywords are going to help you. All right. So put a couple keywords in your business name. I put Premier Seal Coating and Line Striping. Let's say somebody needs a parking lot done. Parking lot. Line striping. Okay, you got a couple ads. And you got Premier. Okay. So that helps you pop up. These people right here, they don't matter. Yeah, you'll get some people who click on the first people because they're the first people, right? You got this company right here at the top. This is just all gimmicks, offering 25% off 2021 projects. It's like, give me a break, So that's how I look at things. If I'm searching for something, top 3 people, if I'm in a rush, I'm probably going to click on them. All right. But if you're at the bottom, yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely not clicking you if you're on the bottom. But if I'm not in a rush and I'm looking, yeah, I will go down. I will find the people who show up organically, and I'll use them, And the other thing I get asked about is, how do I give myself a wider presence? How do I make myself show up like I'm in more places? All right, and that's pretty simple. Let me show you. So what we do is we set up multiple Google My Business pages. There's an app called Google My Business. You can see we set up all these locations for our company, okay? But we do it using the keyword method, all right? So you see the top one, Premier Sport, Tennis Court, Construction, Resurfacing. Anybody, anytime, and we'll try this right now. Anytime somebody goes to tennis court, resurfacing. Yeah, you get people who, pop up as, add. And you go, oh, look who it is, Premier Seal Coating. Let's get back out of there. Let's try tennis court construction. Construction. Bang, Premiere. We're the first people that pop up. Why? Because we have the best rating, and right now we're tied for the most reviews. So now let's go back up in here. So see, even though we have our area set on Google to go, out to 100 miles away from base, if Google finds somebody that maybe your profiles are set up a little better, but that person's closer, then they might stick you with that person. So what we do is we try to set it up through employees of the company. If I got a guy who deals with the customers or is in sales, I'll ask him, hey, let me set my a Google location up for your house. And what they do is Google will send you a postcard in the mail. So I'll go online. I'll put his address in, 21 Litscomb Street. They'll send him a postcard to his house, and he'll get that card. He'll give it to me. I go in. I type the code. Now we got a verified. We have a verified location in that area. So that just broadens, that broadens your search. All right. We have 3 locations out there now spread across, maybe a 40-mile geographic area. And all that does is just ensure that we get a call, Again, I'm not trying to get every job. I just want a chance to bid on every job. So, you can set this up. I just recommend, if you're going to set it up like that you do it using different keywords, So, down here we have Premier, line striping incorporated, snow plowing, salt and sanding. So if somebody goes online and they Google, snow plowing, salt or sanding, boom, it's all the same. So that's, really how you can do it. And I can show you I can go over some numbers with you real quick here, just so you can see how, how that works out. So go to Premier Sport. All right. So this is past 28 days, season's ending for us. So this is kind of to be expected, but you can go in here to the last quarter and see. Now this is no advertising. This is just Google searches. Okay. And I mean, we're getting, 2,500 views. 7 people went to our website. 1 person called us. 1,000 people went to 4 calls. I don't know why it says 1. But it keeps good track. It keeps track of all that stuff for you. Last quarter we got 12 calls from that. That's 12 calls. Those are people, who want your service. All right, and we can go back up. Let's go into our main. Let's go back into our main company account, which I think is this one. Yeah, so this is just last quarter. These are customers who found your listing by searching your business name. All right, that's the green, and the blue is discovery. So those are people who just found us by Googling us. And you see here, businesses with recent photos typically receive more clicks on their website. So last month alone, we got we showed up 1,590 times. 612 of those were listed just as part of the search goes. Let's see here. Let's broaden that out to a quarter. So this is last quarter. 6,554. I think that's what that is. Listings on search is. So you can wind up with some pretty organic numbers. I mean, if you take a look, we have, 2,600 people just showing up in the last month. If we go break it down to the last quarter, customer interactions, 89 people found our website, 2 people requested directions to our shop, 45 people called us, and 11,000 people looked at our views, or we had 11,000 photo views. All right. So that's with I'm not driving anybody to the website. I'm not driving them there at all. That's just all, making sure my customers are giving us up-to-date reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. That's me posting pictures of every job. That's me keeping up my social media accounts, having a YouTube channel, even though, there's not much viewers or not much going on. These are all different vessels for Google to find you and to point you towards other people. Okay. And that's really the point. And that's how I've done it. The last few years, I laugh at these people that spend a ridiculous amount of money on these SEO campaigns. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You just saw how we can erase those people in minutes. Okay. So again, to each his own. Everybody plays the game different, and not to steal a famous saying from Snoop Dogg, but hate the player, don't hate the player, hate the game, or hate the game, hate the player, whatever he says. I think it's don't hate the player, hate the game. So, you guys, don't hate the player, hate the game. Get out there, sell some shit, make some shit happen. If you have any questions on this, you want me to go into anything more, I'll be more than happy to. Again, I'm kind of just spitting this off as I go. I know as soon as I hit the stop button on this record, I'm going to have a ton of things that I say, shit, I should have did that, but pretty much that'll get you started.